For it. There we go. All right, everyone. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It is time for Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. I am one of the co-hosts, Damon Pistolka, and that pretty gentleman right over there, Kurt Anderson. We're going to be talking with none other than Wesleyne about the sales reset. Forget the scripts, trust yourself, win consistently. Her new book. Awesome to have you here today, but I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Anderson and let's take care of this. Let's have some good times.
Damon, how are you, brother?
I am hoarse from the football game last night.
Okay, so big game last night, big win,
Yeah.
big victory for your beloved hometown team. So congratulations, dude. I know you're in the crowd cheering like crazy, but hopefully, since you're 3 hours ahead, you got home and got a good night's sleep for this one.
Yes, I did.
Dude, get ready. Get your mic ready because you're going to be dropping the mic. We're going to have moments of silence. We've got Wesleyne Whittaker in the house. Wesleyne, what a great way to end the years with Wesleyne Whittaker, man.
Yep.
Wesleyne, how are you?
I'm good. This is my last, I would say, event of the year. This is the last full working day I have of the year. So it's exciting.
Wow. How exciting. So, okay. I think you've been on maybe once or twice. You've been probably 10 or 12 times, right? You're a repeat offender. So you know the routine. So let's just dive right in. You've got some really exciting news to share. Nice little stocking stuffer, if you will. I know it's on pre-order, but you got a little stuff. What news do you have? Is there anything new, something new going on with you, Wesleyne?
Yes, my book is going to be released February 10th, 2026. The Sales Reset, my labor of love book that I'm so excited about.
Nice.
Well, you know what? Let's take a little. Can we take a little sneak peek at it?
Oh, seeing it on the screen still excites me. It's like, wow, it's there. It's real.
Doesn't it? It just warms your heart, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
So first off, guys, go out and grab this book. You can get it on pre-order. Yeah. It's jump on Amazon, The Sales Reset with Wesleyne Whittaker. This is a powerhouse book. Do yourself a favor, connect with Wesleyne on LinkedIn. You can stop by her website, get on her. She has an incredible newsletter that I love and read every week. And so, Wesleyne, we're going to be promoting the book today. Let's start at the beginning. What is the Sales Reset? Now they have to go out and buy the book. We're not going to give away all the secret sauce today, but just tell us about the labor of love and give us an inside peek behind the book.
Yeah. So, I'm so glad that we're having this conversation today because I've been really reflecting. December 26, 2024 was when I sat down and I wrote the book. And I wrote the first draft of the book in 5 days. So I just sat down and I hammered it all out in 5 days. And I was able to do that because this is literally like my life's work. It is everything that I talk about. It is blending mindset and skill set. So as you can see on the cover, there's like a scrambled brain and there's already a normal looking brain and you see the little light bulbs. Because oftentimes in sales, it's not that we don't know what to do. It's that we have these self-limiting beliefs. We have these things that are holding us back. And so no matter how many times somebody teaches us how to write the script, we won't follow it because we have things in our head that are holding us back.
Yeah, Damon, for the record, what Wesleyne and I did, we were standing next to each other. And so then she took like a little CT scan. So we got the scrambled side is my side and all the wisdom, the Wesleyne wisdom is the other side. So that's what that picture, right, Wesleyne? That's me and you standing next to each other. Is that correct?
That is not correct. That is not correct.
So 5 days, is that what you said?
That's crazy.
I know, Wesleyne, I'm getting an age where did I hear that correctly?
That's right. Yes. 5 days to write the first draft. And I literally, it just flowed. I sat down and I was just like, oh, okay. First, we need to talk about this. So first I started with all of the mindset work, the things that are really holding people back. And I introduced my framework. It's called belief selling. And so in this framework, we really talk about how we as adults learn things. The first thing we have to do is unlearn the bad. So a lot of times people don't unlearn the bad. They just keep learning new stuff and keep learning new stuff and keep learning new stuff. And you're not making room for the new stuff to come if you don't unlearn the bad. So we unlearn the bad. Then we have to embrace that new. That change is hard. Any new thing that we try to do, it's always hard. This year, I hired a personal trainer, and I literally remember I was like, this sucks so much. Is it ever going to not suck? And he said, no, I can't promise you that. And a year later, it still sucks. Still sucks. It sucks less, but it still sucks, right? Yeah. And most times we don't get past the suck. We're just like, oh, this sucks. I'm going to go back and do it the old way. Oh, this sucks. I'm going to go back and do it the old way. So those are really the first two pillars that we need to step into before we move into learning something new. Unlearning the bad, embracing the hard, and then we can learn new things.
Yeah. And I Damon, I know this is all right, guys. This is going to be a masterclass. We got a couple of friends that are stopping by here.
Yeah, we do. We got Spencer Morona stopped in and said, hey, looking forward to this. And then we got Syed stopped by and said, looking forward to this too. So awesome.
Hey guys,
thanks for stopping by.
Spencer, Syed, thank you for stopping by. Happy Friday to you both. And again, we're here with Wesleyne Whittaker. So drop us a note. Let us know that you're out there. Tell us where you're coming from. Any questions that you have, this is the opportunity.
Yep.
This is a masterclass. We have a wonderful book that's on pre-order right now on Amazon. We have it right here on the screen, The Sales Reset. Wesleyne, they have to go out and buy the book. Can you give us like a little sneak peek on the belief system that you have created for folks, the belief selling system? What is, just kind of give us a little behind the scenes behind that, if you could.
Yeah, so belief selling is an acronym. So B stands for break barriers. E is embrace growth. L is learn skills. I is implement boldly. E is execute consistently. And F is fuel others. So as I was mentioning before, that is the way that we as humans need to learn new things. And in my book, I've applied it specifically to sales because, again, if you don't break those barriers, if you don't embrace growth, then you learn these new skills and you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to do this one time. But we do those first two steps, then we learn new things. And then you learn those new things and you have to be willing to take risk. So if you learn that, hey, the way that I need to actually step into a discovery meeting is to talk less, then you're like, okay, I have to actually talk less and I have to see how this feels when I talk less. Mm-hmm. And then you have to practice and practice and practice and practice again. One of the examples that I use in the book is about Kobe Bryant and how this is what he was known for. He was practicing before anybody was awake. He was practicing before the doors opened, and he would do it and do it and do it again. And people would see him and like, you're already a good basketball player. Why are you continuing to practice? And he was like, this is why I'm so good. Mm-hmm. So top athletes practice their craft. We must practice our craft. Mm-hmm. And when we don't practice, we don't get better.
All right. Drop the mic number. What was that?
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just going to take a breath there.
That was, hey, and Spencer dropped another kind comment.
Yeah, Spencer said, happy to be here. The right mind is critical for success in sales. No doubt about that.
Yeah, and we've got the belief selling system. And again, you guys have to buy the book to really get underneath the hood and go through each process. Wesleyne, the word that stuck out to me that really resonated was boldly. Okay, I've been using that word recently, and so the I is implement boldly. Yeah. And again, without giving away secret sauce because they have to buy the book, but just take us a little step further. I'm asking for a friend, right, Damon? Right, not that I need to know, but how can folks out there? How can my friend implement boldly? What do you have for us there?
So the greatest example I have about implementing boldly is my, now he's 11 years old, son. He came home from school one day and he was like, Mom, tomorrow is game day and I want to bring my Nintendo Switch. So I looked him in the eye and I said, your teacher didn't mean video games. And he said, Mom, but I can ask her, right? She might say yes or she might say no, but I can still ask. And that is how we implement boldly. We ask hard questions. We do the things, even if we feel like the answer might be no. So just this morning, I was sending out a year-end review to a client, and their price is increasing about 50% for 2026 because I was like, wow, we did a whole bunch of work and we need to get more money. So I put it out there, and this is a very good client. We've been working with them for 8 months, and I'm like, yeah, I need 50% more going into the next year. That's implementing boldly, because she might come back and say no, and that's okay. But if I don't ask, I won't actually know whether I would win it or I wouldn't. So that's what it means to implement boldly. We have to take risk. We have to push the envelope. We have to do the things that we feel may not always make sense, but they push us out of our comfort zone.
Getting out of your comfort zone. And so for our friends out there, like say they're just like, man, I've been doing this thing for a long time, I feel a little bit stuck. How do you help people kind of like re-energize or get unstuck in that sales process? Any tips there?
Yeah, I think it's there's so many tips. Let's see, which one should I land on? So I think that when you're stuck, the first thing that you have to do is understand why you're stuck. Like, are you stuck because you don't have any customers? Are you stuck because you're charging the people that you have not enough? Are you stuck because you don't enjoy the kind of business that you're executing? So the first step that we have to do is identify. So we identify why we're stuck. And once we identify why we're stuck, then we can come up with a plan of action. And one of the best things that I can say when you're sitting in those places of being stuck is you have to do the hard thing. I think that there's a book that says eat the frog. So you do the hard thing first.
Yep.
So if you're stuck and your reason for being stuck is because you don't have enough people in your pipeline, as soon as you sit down in the morning, you need to do your outreach. You need to be hitting it hard, getting on LinkedIn, following up with people, doing whatever. Like, do the hard thing first. And what's going to happen is you're going to be like, I feel so accomplished today because I did the thing that I don't enjoy doing. And whether you get results or not, you still have done the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Awesome.
I'm typing away, taking notes. I like, dude, this is a masterclass right here for sales process. Now, Wesleyne, I'd be remiss if we didn't go here. And I just had a sales call earlier this week, and I broke out I referenced my dear friend Wesleyne, little Wesleyne wisdom. I want to slide into we're talking about being stuck, getting unstuck, consistency. You talk about Kobe doing the hard things. You know where I'm going to go here. What happens when our friends out there try to be a little bit of everything to everyone?
Then you're nothing to no one. And in the book, I really go deep on this concept of your buying committee. And what we have to realize is everyone within an organization. So if we're in B2B sales, everybody within that organization, everybody you talk to isn't the right person. And it's on you as a salesperson. It's on you as a business owner to identify what I call the internal champion. And so that's the person. They may not have the budget. And this is the thing that a lot of salespeople don't really understand. Your internal champion may not have the budget, but they have the pull. They have the problem. They have the issue. They're the one, they're jam-packed. They're stuck somewhere, right? And they're like, this is an issue that I know we need to get fixed. So they then go and get the person with the budget. They go get the person who's actually going to use your solution or whatever. But they're pulling all the people from around the organization to actually help get you in. And an internal champion is the one who advocates for you when you're not around. Like, they're selling your solution. I had an internal champion at a client one time, and she got off an airplane and sent me a text. She was like, Wesleyne, I was sitting next to this guy on the plane, and it sounds like he needs you. So I'm going to do an email introduction for you guys when I get back to my office. That is the epitome of an internal champion, because they're always thinking about how you can be slotted into their company or in other places.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And I know you've used the term Trojan horse. We're like, how can you get that Trojan horse inside of that company?
Yeah,
we've got a couple more comments
here. So first of all, Spencer meant to say mindset in his previous message there to us, but he also says you might be stuck because you're not offering value every time you speak with a prospect or client. This is something that's really important, I think, and we lose a lot when we're thinking about us rather than thinking about the client and what they, how are they spending their time? And if it's not valuable, why are we spending time with them?
Exactly.
It's a huge thing. Huge thing.
Because, I think like a lot of times salespeople, let me not say salespeople, humans like to talk about themselves. And so when we like to talk about ourselves, we don't realize that we're just womp, womp, womp. And the prospect doesn't really care about your goals or your company or they don't care about that kind of stuff. They want you to step into their world, and top salespeople know how to step into a prospect's world well.
Yeah. Absolutely. Love it.
Syed had one. If we're what if we're stuck at client acquisition? This is a great one too, I think.
This is good. So the first thing that I would encourage you to do is to look at your sales process and figure out where in the sales process things are not converting. So sometimes you'll get a whole lot of new leads, whether inbound or outbound, and then after the first meeting, people will fall away. So you need to figure out, what am I doing in that first meeting that's detracting people? Sometimes you get all the way to the proposal phase, and after the proposal, they ghost you. Is my price too high? Am I not showing enough value? Did I not understand their problems? Like, what exactly is happening? So the first thing you have to do is understand where in your sales process people are falling off. And then you go deep in that one area. You don't try to fix the whole thing. You try to fix the part that you see, okay, I think that this is the area that I really want to focus on. And so if you're not converting early in the sales process, what I would say is you're not doing a strong discovery. And so that means you're not asking the right questions. You're not really stepping into their world. You may be trying to do discovery and pitching in one meeting, which never, ever works. And if it's later in the process, you're not aligning your price and value well enough for people to say yes. So with this, I mentioned a client that I'm going up 50%, but earlier this year, I think I increased, we doubled the contract value, and now I'm asking for another 50%. Yeah. So that means like we've probably 4x'd it in less than a year. And the thing is, I'm showing value every step of the way. So when I ask for more money, I can back it up with the value that I am providing them. So in the sales process, people need to understand, like, I'm paying you this much. What am I going to get? And then and I'll just add this little piece, if you're in a service-based business, so if you're like a consultant, so you or your company, the things that you're doing, that is the product that you sell, you really need to be focused on, how am I going to show the return on the client's investment, right? Like, what are they going to see tangibly so that they can say, yes, that is worth it for me to do this.
Yeah, that is so powerful right there. It's like, is it Stephen Covey, 7 Habits, always talks about, start with the end in mind, and so I love what you're saying, Wesleyne, because you come in the front end like, hey, it's going to cost this or what have you. It's like, you need them to visualize, like that. Damon, we were talking about a football game at the end, or before we started, your customer standing in the end zone, spiking the ball, doing their little dance, or, they're the hero standing over, conquered over the bad guy. You need to paint that picture. Wesleyne, I want to go back here. We talked about trying to be everything to everybody, right? And man, I like, you are in my head every day, like niche, right? Stay focused. Now you are huge on buyer personas and really understanding who your buyer is. And again, I reference you constantly on this. Who are we trying to sell to out there? Is it like a bunch of people, somebody in HR, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So I think that when we think about who we're trying to sell to, we have to really focus on the human and not the company. And I think what happens oftentimes is we're like, I sell to manufacturing companies. That's fantastic. Okay, so who in the manufacturing company are you selling to? Well, I don't know, anybody in operations. Or I can work with any size company. It doesn't matter, because everybody needs what I do because I'm Superwoman, right? So, and when you do that, you really, really dilute your focus. And so even at a very granular level, like in my content, I say, I work with technical founders. I work with a lot of engineers. Like I say who I am working with because people will identify with that. And so because I know who my ideal client is, I know that they often will consume my content online, but they will not like it. They will not comment on it. And I understand that. And so I write for them. So I'm not writing for likes. I'm not writing for comments. I'm writing for them. I do want to get enough reach so they see it. But earlier this year, I had somebody he just looked at my profile. And if you look at my profile, I'm automatically going to respond and say, hey, you checked out my profile, anything I can do to help. And he was like, yeah, we're having some challenges with our sales. Here's my phone number. Give me a call. And in 24 hours, I closed that deal. Never liked anything, never commented on anything.
Yeah.
But again, that is the key when we think about our buyer persona and who we're speaking to, because he was able to say, she can help me.
Yeah. Damon, what's going through your mind?
I'm just busy writing notes.
He's like, don't interrupt me, Kurt. I'm writing. So I want to come back to the book, and make sure, and hopefully make sure we're I didn't detract from Syed's question, but Wesleyne, I wanted to hit here. The problem isn't you or your pitch. It's what you believe about selling. And I feel we're covering a lot of, not being everything to everybody, selling to like that one person, getting the internal champion. Anything else that you want to add to that line? I just feel that's such a powerful comment right there. Anything else that you want to add to that opening line that you have in your, hey, Damon, did you see that Amazon selling that book right there by any chance? Did you know?
Yeah, I've seen that before.
See there's a little button over here that people can hit. You see that right there?
Buy it right there.
But
nice orange button.
But that orange, I think that's what that's for, is like you can actually pre-order. But Wesleyne, any comments that your problem isn't you or your pitch, it's what you believe about selling. Anything else any other myths or what else you want to add to that comment before we move on?
Yeah, I think that a lot of times people think selling is telling, and selling is becoming a trusted advisor. Like, you need to be the trusted advisor. You need to be the person that your clients, your prospects come to for advice. And you know that you have reached trusted advisor status when you have a client that says, hey, I really need help with this thing. Do you do that? And you're like, I don't do that. And they're like, well, do you know somebody who does that? And you're like, yeah, I have these 5 people. Because they trust you and they know that you've done good work for them. Yeah. So I think a very big misnomer is we have to pitch people. We have to convince people. No. You have to provide value. You have to become that trusted advisor. You need to show up as that expert in the area and be able to solve the problems that they're bringing you. And understand that sometimes depending on what you do or what you sell, it takes a long time. This year, I closed a deal that was open for 494 days. 494 days. Yes. And I continued to add value. I wasn't like every week sending emails or reaching out on LinkedIn, but I would have a post and I'm like, hey, I had this post and I was wondering, I just wanted to share it with you. I would ask, hey, can I get a meeting with the rest of the buying committee to do a presentation? Let's do a Q&A. But that's what it took to close that deal. Yeah. And now I'm a trusted advisor and it's a very large publicly traded company. So it was worth that amount of time.
Yeah. And I love too that you talk about not selling because people think we need a pitch, right? And I just love to be able to talk to people and just keep asking questions about their stuff. And then if you get to the point to where you go, well, that is what we do. That's awesome. But if it's not, when you say, well, that's not something we can help you with, but we might know some people that could help or something like that. That I think is really powerful because you'll have one of those conversations, you'll help somebody out. And then when they need you, they'll come back to you because they already know what you do. They already know what you don't do, and you've helped them. So, but when you're not trying to sell, when you're just trying to figure out, hey, is this a really good fit? Are they really going to be happy working with us? And are we going to be really happy working with them? It's fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the thing that you said, Damon, that a lot of people don't really realize, like sales is fun. If you're not having fun selling, then you're doing it the wrong way. Like you're putting too much pressure on yourself. You're thinking about it like, oh, I have to hit this quota. I have to do like, if you're not finding joy in selling, then you need to find a different job, or 2, find a different way to do your job, because sales is too hard to not enjoy it. Like you lose so much more than you win. You get more rejection than you get acceptance. And so if you're not enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, then you're going to burn out. And that again goes back to the sales reset. Why salespeople burn out is because they're just chasing the quota. They're chasing the next sale, the next purchase order, the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Moment of silence right there, dude. That was like quote of the year right there. If you don't enjoy selling, either A, find a different job or a different gig, because you're just going to be miserable, right? Period. And that plenty of people are not cut out for selling. You know, like I've never viewed myself. My father was a great salesman. I've never viewed myself as a great salesperson. If you don't like what you're doing, don't find joy in it, find something else, or you have to change the process.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's almost not a third option other than like definition insanity. Just keep being miserable. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you know, when you figure that out though, and you can make the switch, right? Because we can make the switch if we're in a sales position and go, okay, now I'm not selling. I'm just trying to get to know people, build a relationship. And if it works out in understanding their problems really well, and if our worlds align and it makes sense, it's so natural. It's not like I'm out there going, hey, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this? And they're like,
right.
That's not even, you know, we get them every day. We get emails like that every day. And people try to have conversations about like that every day. And it's a waste of everyone's time. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing that discovery and really talking to them, like you said, a good discovery call, you can help them with some advice during that call. Maybe if they really are or something, you could potentially refer them to other places or start to build that relationship that moves into something different. And that's not selling. It's just getting to know people.
Literally. And the thing is, if you enter into your sales call with the servant heart, with like, I am here to serve, I am here to help. Like, what can I do to help you? And there are times where, you know, I get on a call and I'm like, I'm not a good fit. Like, I know the kind of clients that I work best with, and I'm like, I'm not a good fit. When I was selling capital equipment, there are many, many, many times I would sit down with a prospect and be like, I really want to sell you the solution, and I know that you'll buy it from me, but it's not going to solve your problem. And I have enough integrity to say that I'm going to walk away from this. But those people, those are your customers for life. Because I would say, okay, so you shouldn't buy this instrument yet, but get this thing, fix this gap in your process, do this bit and piece. And then, like, I'm always here to help you, advise you or whatever. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But then they're like, okay, Wesleyne, now I need this thing. Who should I call for this? Oh, now I'm ready for you. Right. And then it's easy close.
Yeah.
Send a quote and they send the PO in no time because I've already done all that legwork. So it really doesn't matter if you're selling a service as in yourself, you're selling large capital, because I sold a lot of what I talk about in the book is actually my experience selling capital equipment, selling specialty chemicals, also my role as an entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter if you're selling a product or a service. It doesn't matter if it's $5,000 or $500,000. You still have to use the same basics of selling to get to where you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
Another moment of silence, Damon. We're just gonna take a moment and just kind of savor that, guys. Just kind of soak that in. Brilliance. Damon Spencer has another awesome comment. If you want to grab that,
he said, "I like it when my competition doesn't enjoy selling." Yeah,
that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I have a good story in the book about being at a trade show. And my competitor coming up to me, and I reached my hand out because we never met in person to shake his hand. And he just looks at my hand and he was like, I know who you are. I was like, okay. And he was like, you're stealing all my customers. I was like, oh,
right.
I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, yeah, 5 people over the past year have told me that they're going with you instead of getting the newer model of our instrument. And look at them. I'm like, doesn't seem like that's my problem. But
that's a new problem.
Exactly. But the thing is, what I knew his gaps. And so in the book, I have a whole section on competitive intelligence. Like, you should know your competitors better than they know themselves. So I knew what he wasn't doing. So when I sold capital equipment, I was what they call a specialist. So I only sold one line of business. He sold everything. So he didn't know a lot of stuff. So anytime I got a call, I was right there at the customer. I was in the lab running samples with them because I was a chemist. I knew how to use the stuff. So I could show them in real time how my instrument was going to solve their problem. Whereas he had to wait because he had to get support from the main office. So to win against him, I had to be fast and knowledgeable. That's how I won. Yeah. And that's the key, knowing your competitors better than they know themselves.
That is another one, Kurt. That is. And how many times do you go into a company and you ask them about their competitors and they can't name off their top competitors? Even little regional companies don't do a good job of it. And then
we don't have competition because we're so unique.
We're so Everybody, and the thing is, sometimes competition is Damon, a frequent answer is like, your customer doing nothing is competition to you. So there's all sorts of different forms of competition. Yeah. So, hey, I know we're over top of the hour. If you just joined us, I want to give a big shout out. We're here with our dear friend, Wesleyne Whittaker from Transform Sales. Please do yourself a favor. Connect with Wesleyne on LinkedIn. She puts out daily posts that are just Wesleyne wisdom, brilliant, inspiring, her beautiful 2 sons, all sorts of information. She's just a breath of fresh air. You won't meet anybody more fun, funny, inspiring than our dear friend Wesleyne. More importantly, we have a new book that we have on the screen here, and it's called The Sales Reset. It is pre-sale on Amazon. Stop by. It's a great way. So for any of your loved ones, you're looking for a holiday gift, man, we've got your answer right here. And this is just going to be a powerful, game-changing book. Wesleyne, I have a line highlighted right here, and you're talking about the sales reset will help you transform pressure into purpose. Now, all these mic drop moments and all these moments of silence that we're having right now, you're talking, what's the number one thing is like, you're selling trust, right? That it seems like everything that is the repeated theme is like being the trusted advisor, being the trusted confidant, right? Talk a little bit about what you mean by this line here about how will you transform pressure into purpose and tactics into trust. Just share a little bit on that.
So there's a chapter in the book and it's called Writing Your Story. And what we do in that chapter is we actually walk through your life and we talk through what are all of the things that you've done in your life that have helped you get to where you are today. And so for me, some of those things were being an avid reader, always asking questions. And I used to get in trouble for asking questions in school. Like my teachers would literally be like, Wesleyne, you're not allowed to ask any more questions the rest of the day. And like, that's what pays my bills right now. Like I teach people how to ask better questions, right? So we don't always understand like that was hard or that wasn't great. But when I started in sales, so I was a chemist and they sent me to Germany for 2 weeks. And they taught me all about the instrumentation, how amazing it was and all of the stuff. And then they sent me back home and said, now go sell. I was like, I don't know what to do. What do you mean go sell? So I didn't know what to do. And I went into my existing customers and the existing customers in the territory, and I started asking them questions. I was like, how do you use this instrument? What does good data look like to you? Okay, what are some of these other things? So again, when we write our story, when we understand what happened to us in the past and how it's setting us up for our future and what helps us become or really step into this place of I am a good salesperson, that is what I say, walking into your purpose. So understanding who you are, who you were created to be, and all the things that and sometimes, we think about the stumbles that we've made and we're like, oh, but I should have been here. I should have did this. I attempted to go to grad school twice in a technical field and it didn't work out. But if any of those times would have worked out, I wouldn't be here today. Like I wouldn't have gotten into sales because after the second stint in grad school, I was like, I want to do something different. What am I going to do? And that's when I stepped into sales. So I think that it's important that we understand really our why and all of the small steps along our journey that help get us to where we are today.
All right, guys, we're just going to savor that one for a minute. Just take a little moment. So, Damon, how you doing there, dude? You doing all right? Are you on mute?
I just had to put on mute for a second while I'm just absorbing. But we got Spencer's comment here. He says, "Great episode. Congratulations, Wesleyne, on your book launch." And then I'll say
it for you, Damon. I know you can't say that. I'll say it, right?
Yeah.
Go. He says, "Go Niners," right, Damon? I know, like you're a Seahawk guy. You can't say it.
Yeah, I can't say it, but I can't believe that Spencer's saying it because he is a UW graduate and he lives in the Seattle area, and I think I just don't know how he can walk around town like that.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That's just me.
Spencer, I think you need to have a little chat with Damon.
Yeah,
right.
He's a lot bigger than me, but I think
he's bigger. He gets. Well, hey, we'll deal with that later. But all right, Wesleyne. So recovering chemist, I absolutely love that. So you are the accidental sales expert, isn't that fascinating? What you and I frequently talk about like God's path and like just did you when you were in college becoming a chemist? And I think wasn't your dad a college professor?
Mm-hmm.
Your father's a college professor. You're a chemist. Did you ever see yourself as a sales guru writing a book called The Sales Reset?
So when you said that, the funniest thing that just popped into my brain was when I was in college. So not to brag on myself or anything, but when I was in college, I only got 3 B's. And I got a B in cell biology, world civilization, and psychology. And I remember being in psychology like, this is a waste of my time. Why do I need to do this? I'm never going to use this. And I literally use psychology every single day. My book, The Sales Reset, has so many psychological concepts in it. So when I was in college, I thought my goal, my dream was to get a PhD in chemistry and to work in some world-renowned research facility doing something. I never thought that I would get into sales. I never even thought that I was going to have my own business. So again, like when we think about our story and all of the path that we took to get here, we see everything that helped make us who we are. And even though I don't practice as a chemist, because I have a degree in chemistry, it makes me really good at process. And it makes me really good at trying out different strategies and saying, okay, this worked or that didn't work. And thinking outside the box and experimenting and doing all those things. I use it in a very different way now, but that early training helped me to become who I am today.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So as we keep going in here, Wesleyne, what questions we're going to start winding down? I know you're super busy. You've got all sorts of things to do. You've got this big book launch. Any questions I didn't ask, or what else do people need to know about the book before buying it? What else do they need to know?
So I would say that this is it's a complete sales manual. In there, I refer to field salespeople, and I like to say, what is a field salesperson? That's somebody who has to leave their house to sell. And if you're an entrepreneur, you're a field salesperson because you should leave your house to sell. You shouldn't just be sitting in front of a computer all day, right? So it is really a book. It is a manual for anyone who has to handle the entire sales process. So if you are going from, I have to identify my target accounts and I have to prospect. I talk about 3 pillars of prospecting because it's more than just, emailing. And how do you ask really good discovery questions? And now I need to do a proposal or I need to do a demo. And then I now have to negotiate these deals, right? So it gives you all of that, but it layers on all this mindset work that you have to do for each and every step of the sales process. So the end of every chapter ends with what I call belief in action, belief selling in action. So it walks through that framework for each and every concept that I have introduced. So you understand how I need to break these barriers, how I need to use this to, how can I execute this consistently? How can I practice this skill over and over again? So it is I think it's a phenomenal book, but it blends mindset and skill set. And that was really my goal, because a lot of times you have those motivational books and then you have the sales methodology books, but this really blends both of them into one.
Mm-hmm.
Powerful tool and really just such a valuable resource, like you said. So you don't have to be in sales if you're just leadership, managing people, your family, right? I mean, there's all sorts of things that's applicable here. I want to hit one more thing. So in your beliefs, so if you chimed in late, it's the belief selling system that Wesleyne, it's her proprietary system that she has created. It's an acronym. For the F, you talked, if I have this right, you mentioned fueling others. Okay. Fueling. How do you provide? So I want to close out on this. How do you provide fuel? Like you've just provided a ton of fuel for everybody that's catching us, whether live or on replay. How can friends out there, I'm asking for a friend again, how can friends out there provide fuel for others?
So your cycle of learning is complete if you can teach what you've learned to someone else. So when you think about fueling others, it is literally teaching them the concepts that you've learned. And so a big part of what I do is I'm always sharing, I'm always teaching, I'm always talking, because that's how I know I solidify those concepts. So when you learn something new, don't just hold it to yourself. Like, you are created to sow seeds into other people, right? So you learn a really cool way to ask questions. And so take that really cool way that you learn to ask questions and tell it to a colleague. And remember, if you're fueling someone in your organization, you're helping your organization become better, because we don't compete against our colleagues, right? We're not competing against them. There are so many people outside that we're competing against. Mm-hmm. And even that being said, if you have people that you're working with that they're, you guys are in complementary businesses, fuel them, help them. But when you give out, when you do something to help somebody else, it comes back to you in ways that you won't even be able to identify, because you are helping other people with the knowledge that you have gained.
Just take a moment. We're gonna soak that in for a second. And I want to share, gosh, have I ever said like 5 times we're gonna close out on this? So Wesleyne, over the course of the years, you and I have been fast friends, and I've had the honor and privilege of doing tons of virtual webinar workshops together. In time, I mean, almost consistently, the chat box is like, "Oh my God, this is on fire!" This is so good, Wesleyne. Your enthusiasm. Mm-hmm. I keep using the word remiss. I'd be remiss if I didn't hit this. Share a little bit, even like for a painful introvert out there, how important it is to share some of that passion. We're talking about trust, the value, the educating, but having some enthusiasm and passion behind. And you totally walk that walk. Share a little bit about like how you bring enthusiasm with everything that you do.
But the thing is, I just love what I do so much. And I wear so many hats. I'm a single mom. I'm a business owner. I lead a ministry at my church. And everything that I do, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose. And so it's easy for me to bring this energy because I truly enjoy it. And in order to get to this place where I truly enjoy it, I had to start saying no to a lot of things that I didn't enjoy. And some of those things brought me financial success or gave me more money or gave me more status. But if I didn't enjoy them, if I can't believe in what I'm doing, then it doesn't really fill me up. And so it's hard to step into it. And one of the things that I am most grateful for is I have a friend who I've known for about 30 years. And I have people who I've met in the past 6 months. I got those people in a room earlier this year. I had an event and they were swapping Wesleyne stories and they were all the same thing, because I'm the same person. Like I have always been this person. I'm the same person at work, at home. I'm the same person at church. Like I am this person. I don't put on airs. I'm not like this now, and then I'm going to be upset when my kids come home. Like, this is who I am. And I think when you learn to step into who you are and be comfortable in your skin, then it makes things so much easier for you as you continue to walk along in your purpose.
Damon, you're welcome. That's all I'm going to say is you're welcome for this opportunity. And hey, we got a great comment from Sad here.
Yep. Great episode. Congratulations, Wesleyne. Keep sharing these valuable tips, insights, and behind the scenes strategies. They are really helpful. Thanks for the comments, Sad.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. So, Damon, let's start winding down. Thoughts, comments, takeaways. Like, dude, like, you just feel like you're just a better person when you spend a little bit of time with Wesleyne. What do you have?
Yeah, just like you said, Kurt, every time we get to talk to Wesleyne, it's you learn so much. You get an inspiration from, you can feel it. As you said, you're living your purpose, Wesleyne, and you can feel it. And that's what I always enjoy about our conversations.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure to join you guys. You're two of my biggest fans. And so I love being here with you.
Well, guys, I'm going to try not to get emotional, Damon. So, I'm at the age stage where, like, I'm Uncle Kurt. I'm Uncle Kurt to my dear friend Wesleyne. I'm telling you, I don't know if I've met a more amazing individual. When you think of the words integrity, authenticity, passion for life, passion for other human beings, man, it just defines Wesleyne. Wesleyne, I tell you, like, we text, frequently, and like, I'll just, I'll have a rough day or just like, I'll get out of the gym and all of a sudden, like, there's a text on my phone with a Bible message, or it's Wesleyne giving me a message, talking and like, hey, Kurt, you're on my mind today. Wesleyne, I cannot express what a blessing you are, what a dear friend. I worship the ground you walk on. Guys, please do yourself a favor, grab the sales reset, just go on Amazon, hit that little pre-order, and you can just tell right here that this is a game-changing, life-changing, life-altering book that's just going to, iron sharpens iron, and this is just going to make you that much better. Wesleyne, what's mom and dad think about the book?
My mom actually read the whole thing. She read the whole thing, and she had, when she was here when I got the proof copies, and she was like, can I have that? I was like, it's not the real thing. It has a strip. She's like, I don't care. And she's not in a, sales or business world, but she was like, it's really good. And I think she said her thing was, this is more than a sales book. I think that was her response.
Nice.
It's more than a sales book.
It's more than a sales book. Well, hey, we wish you and your first off, and amazing mother. I can't imagine how proud your two boys are. And when your boys, when Wes and William, when they get older, they're going to be like my mom, da 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 da. And those guys are going to be monster. I know your one son is looking at Ivy League schools right now, and he's going to be a monster success. Just like the apple doesn't fall far. But, once again, guys, connect with Wesleyne on LinkedIn. Grab that book. Wesleyne, thank you is not strong enough of a word. We appreciate you. We applaud you for your book, your inspiration, everything that you're doing. I could keep you out here all day. Damon, how about everybody out there? Let's give Wesleyne a big standing ovation, round of applause for the master class today. And I'll tell you, guys, if you have a book in you, hey, let Wesleyne be the inspiration. Get that book out of your mind, out of your heart, out of your soul, and get it out on Amazon, just like Wesleyne did. And you too can make the world a better place, just like Wesleyne is. Wesleyne, parting thoughts, words of wisdom, anything that you want to share?
I think I would just say that as we're, ending one year and stepping into the next year, I would encourage everyone to really figure out the thing that makes them excited. Like, really, what is your purpose? What is the thing that you really, at this time next year, you want to say, I did this and I showed up this way. And I am proud of how I showed up. I am proud of what I accomplished. So I think those are my parting words.
More Wesleyne wisdom. So thank you, Wesleyne, from the bottom of my heart. All of us out here, thank you. And so, hey, happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. We wish you just a wonderful, magical holiday season. Damon, why don't you close this out, dude?
All right. Well, thanks, Wesleyne, for being here and sharing your book with us, sharing your thoughts. It's always so incredible to have you and to be able to just learn from you. And thank you. And like I said, you can really, if the people out there that were here for the whole thing, don't feel it coming from you, I think they must not have a pulse. That's all I'm saying. They take your pulse because you probably need to call 911 and get some help. But if you got in this late, get back to the beginning, and you're going to learn a lot about sales, selling, mindset, so much stuff in Wesleyne's new book, The Sales Reset. Get on Amazon, figure that out, and get it coming to you when it comes out in February. I want to thank Syed and Spencer and everybody else that was dropping comments and listening to us. And we will be back again next year. Is it, Kurt?
Monday. We're sneaking one. Monday, and then we're back next year. So,
but thanks everyone for being here. We'll be back on Monday.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.